Hello, Just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. I'm doing very well. I've just woken up for an epic nap. Well, I haven't just woken up from an epic nap, I've just filmed all of this. But before that, I'd just woken up for an epic nap. The star of today's show is going to be the Nomad New Zealand Stargazing palette. And this is almost part of an inadvertent series I've created, I guess, called First Time Trying. Because I haven't tried Nomad before. I've been hearing about them a lot, but I've never purchased from them because I've never wanted to splurge on the postage, to be perfectly honest. But they had a sale. My brother lives in Amsterdam. It's cheaper to get it posted to mainland Europe than it is to get it posted to the UK. So I bought 2 of their palettes, this being one of them. And today I have filmed this look that is currently on my mug. And if you would like to see how I created this look using this rather beautiful palette, stay tuned. First off, I apologise because I know that the lighting isn't ideal, but that's because instead of filming earlier when the sun was a bit higher, I had a nap instead. I was tired and I think it was better that I had a nap, and I will now hopefully be more coherent when I speak. Whereas otherwise, had I not had said nap, I would probably be speaking gibberish right now. I'm going to start in a bit of an unusual way, which is putting on foundation. And the reason being is I'm trying to go through my foundations at the moment and figure out which ones are actual matches, whether they are for the summertime, for the winter time when my complexion is a little bit different, or if they're just not really matches at all and I've just been walking around with non-matching foundation. I'm doing this because recently I wore my Kat Von D, well, it's not Kat Von D anymore, is it? My KVD Vegan Beauty, whatever it's called now. But I wore that in the shade D78, and when I first applied it, it looked really good, but by the end of the day it was looking a bit orange, and I seemed to be doing my best impression of an Oompa Loompa. That's led me to do my little bit of a hunt through the foundations I own to see what is in fact a true match. Let's see. So today it is the turn of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, which I will show you momentarily. There it is, that's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 360. Dotting on, see already. I'm not sure I'm convinced about that, but then let's blend it out and see. Already looks like it's a bit on the orange side to start with. Blend it out though, it's looking alright. And yeah, it's at a time like this when I could have done with better lighting so you get a better idea, but I think you'll still be able to help me out. If you have a look and you think that it's a horrific match, then let me know down in the comments. So that's it blended out, and it's not too bad. I do really like that finish. I used to wear this a lot about 5 or so years ago, maybe even longer than that, maybe 6 or 7, and I couldn't tell you why I stopped. Possibly because at that time I wasn't convinced it was the right shade match, but that looks alright. So I'm going to conceal, and then I'm going to come back. I think while I conceal I'll prep my eyes and come back, and then the main thing I want to play with today is this stunning palette from Nomad. Nomad? Who the hell are Nomad? Nomad, the New Zealand Stargazing palette. I think I mentioned that I was going to conceal, and then I realised that I'll conceal at the end. There's no point concealing now, but what I have done is my brows, and I have laid down some eyeshadow primer, and it's the usual, I don't think I've brought it back with me, but my Be Perfect Priming eyeshadow base. And I used my NYX brow pencil today, which I haven't picked up and used in a while, and I really like the results it gave me actually, so I need to use my NYX brow pencil more. It's a really, really fine tip, and you can kind of really get in there and do repetitive, nice strokes into your brows. And I think they just, I mean, you tell me what you think. Do they look a bit too harsh? Have I gone a bit overboard? But I quite like how defined they're looking today. Without further ado, let's get into this Nomad palette. It's not going to be a review per se, but it is actually my first time trying Nomad. So that's what the inside of the palette looks like. And if you have been watching my videos, I mean, I've only had a channel for about 3 months now, but if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know I love purple. So it's no surprise really that I was drawn to this palette. I'm also trying out some new brushes today. When I say new, I mean they are brushes I've had for a very long time, but I haven't used yet. So I have tried Spectrum brushes in the past, and to be honest, I wasn't that impressed. I didn't enjoy them very much. And I've been moaning at myself that I need to get some new brushes. I don't, not really. And then I remembered that I had these stashed away that I hadn't used yet because I had like a mismatch, an array of other brushes that I was using. I've dug out these Spectrum brushes, and these, I mean, they're beautiful to look at. These are the Disney Bad Apple, so they were the Wicked, is it the Wicked Witch? Wicked Stepmother? I don't know, but the villainous woman in Snow White, they're based off of her. I mean, they're beautiful to look at, and they were gifted to me a few years back for a birthday, but I just haven't used them because, I don't know, I wasn't convinced by Spectrum, but I'm going to give them another try today. So I'm just pulling out the brushes I think I'm most likely to use on my eyes, and I might possibly need to supplement them with a smaller blending brush that I already own, and perhaps a pencil brush because they aren't part of this set. So what I'll do is I'll just have my Refers, I think, on standby, which I do enjoy, but they shed so much. So I'm thinking one look. Oh, but it's going to be hard to decide what to do with this one look though, isn't it? Because some of these shimmers, I wonder how many shimmers I can get away with putting on my eyelids. Like one thing I'm already noticing, I feel like Carter Observatory and Tekapo Stargazing, they look very, very similar. I'm wondering if both of those shades were needed in this palette. So that's this here and this here. So obviously that's a bit more purple and that's a bit more blue. But I do wonder how different they'll actually end up being. Iraqi Mackenzie, this purple shade. I might start with that and put that in my outer V, and I'm using the Spectrum A12 for that. I won't necessarily zoom you in, let's keep it chatty. As I say, it's not necessarily a review, it's been out for a while, this palette. It's more that it's new to me. Oh, that's a nice purple, that is. It's a very nice purple. So I'm going to be doing some pre-filming because I'm about to go away. I've got a work trip this time next week. In fact, I should be flying. So I'm going to be doing some pre-filming. That's one of the reasons why I'm filming so late today, actually, because I knew that I had to film, kind of thing. I mean, I don't have to do anything. I wanted to film, but I was so tired before that I thought to myself, it's not going to be productive to film while you're this tired. Yes, you might lose the light, but it's better that you sleep and you feel better than you try and film something now in natural daylight, make a complete hash of it, and then potentially have to film all over again. So I made the decision to just have a little power nap, and I feel wonderful for it. Naps, well, I was about to say naps are underrated, but I don't think they are anymore. I think people are realising how glorious and refreshing naps can actually be. oh, that's a stunt. I mean, the pigment on this, like, and remember, this is my first time trying Nomad Cosmetics. I now own 2 palettes by them. So the other palette I picked up was the Wild Atlantic Way, so that one's based on Ireland, and I went back and forth on that because I'd only just recently purchased Earthy by Beauty Bay, so I wasn't necessarily sure I needed it. But what I think I will do is a bit of a comparison, so it'll be interesting to compare the formulas and to compare the shades between Earthy and Wild Atlantic Way. Okay, so I've done the same outline in that shade, that lovely purple shade, on both sides. So that's the good thing about doing a look on both sides. I try to do both sides as I go along and keep them matching along the way, which you can't do when you do one look on each eye. But then I don't suppose it matters so much trying to get them to match when you do a look on each eye, because they're so completely different. It doesn't matter if they don't match. I'm using a Sigma switch to take off the pigment, and then I'm trying to decide if I want to blend that out with Southern Lights or Auckland Stardome. And I'm leaning towards Auckland Stardome simply because it matches my top ever so slightly more. And so it's the shade right next to the purple that I've just used. I don't know if it's going to focus on the name, but yeah. There we go. I've gone for slightly higher space buns today. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I'm rocking the space buns a lot at the moment because they're quick, they're easy, and they're an effective kind of protective hairstyle. I am going to put my hair in braids though, so on Tuesday I'm going to get my hair braided because that's also a very easy maintenance style, perfect for when you are going away. So as I mentioned, I'm about to go on a work trip and then I'm tagging on a holiday afterwards, which is why I want to have some content sort of pre-filmed and preloaded. So if you see a bunch of videos where I'm wearing the same thing repeatedly, don't judge me, I'm just pre-filming. That's really nice, and that's why can't I say blended? That's blended pretty effortlessly. So much for a nap making me more eloquent. These are blending rather effortlessly. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. Got there in the end. And then I am going to go back in with the purple again. I'm already eyeing the palette out the corner of my eye to decide what shimmer slash shimmers I'm going to want to put on my actual lids. I've got to say, I'm being quite sloppy today, but it seems to be working. It's also relative chaos behind me because I'm going through my makeup, sorting it out. I'm trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, having a mini declutter, a bit of a tidy of my makeup, and also deciding which makeup I want to take with me for while I'm away, bearing in mind that when I come back, immediately afterwards, I'm going to a wedding. And when I say immediately afterwards, I am packing my wedding outfit. It's flying across the world with me and then coming all the way back because this wedding is basically immediately after my trip. When it comes to what makeup I'm taking with me, I have to bear in mind the hot and humid weather I'm going to be in while I'm away, and then also the kind of makeup I'm going to want to wear for this wedding. And actually, you can help me out. I might put an image of the outfit I'm going to wear, and you can maybe tell me what kind of makeup looks you think would look good with it. Right, now, these shimmers, I'm thinking, because I've already got purple, I'm going to avoid the purple shimmer, which is called Southern Cross. I've been using a lot of blue lately, so I'm not going to use Milky Way. Aurora Australis looks very nice. In fact, let me switch. I'm going to swatch the rest of the shimmer shades sort of on my hand. Oh, that Aurora colour. Aurora Australis, then Carina Nebula, then Jewel Box, and then Megalithic Clouds, which I might use on the inner corner. Let's start with Carina Nebula on the outside, and then hopefully I'll have made up my mind by the time I go to put something towards the inner part of my lid. Applying with a finger. Do you know what this colour story puts me in mind of? It reminds me of my Pat McGrath Le Vion Rose palette, which is a stunner. And I might dig that out so I can show you a comparison. But it's definitely kind of giving me those vibes. Oh, maybe I will zoom you in so you can see that, because as I say, I apologise it's a little dark. That's my fault for having a nap. But that is pretty beautiful. I mean, as a first go, I am loving this formula. The mattes and the shimmers are both performing incredibly. I love the sort of goldy, pinky, purpley shift going on with that. I'm just trying to think what would complement that the most. Megalithic Clouds, and then see what Aurora Australis looks like as an inner corner. Let's try that. I hope you can see it's kind of more, they're similar, but Megalithic Clouds is more wow. Maybe I shouldn't have taken Carina Nebula in so much to be able to see them better. I think you can see the difference. They kind of blend in, but that's got more pow. Megalithic Clouds. I know that a few more older palettes, like their previous Halloween releases, some of them are coming back. I might have to pick those up. That's another reason I wanted to hurry up and try the Nomad palettes I already had. When I saw them post about bringing 2 of the previous Halloween palettes back, I thought to myself, well, let me see what I think about the formula before I go and blindly buy more palettes. But if this is anything to go by, we're putting Aurora Australis on the inside, and I've dug out my trusty little Zoeva for this. I don't know if that necessarily works as an inner corner. It's a very no, it does. It does. I take it back. I take it back. And then I just want to... Lately I've really liked running my inner corner into the shadow. I just think it really sort of polishes it off and joins it all up. And I haven't had to spray anything here. This is just using it dry. So Lauder alone knows what this would look like if I had 1, sprayed it, and 2, used a glitter primer. Whoo! But for a first go, especially, I always like to see how shadows perform when I don't do either of those. I'm already thinking that the Avatar highlighter I picked up recently is going to look incredible with these eyes. Incroyable. Going back into that A12, I'm actually really liking this Spectrum A12 brush. It's very nice, very, very nice. When a palette has a black, it's always interesting to see how that black performs, so let's do it. It's just kind of, it's almost taken, I mean, I don't know if you'd wear this kind of eye in the day anyway. So this is my Refa 13 that I've picked up some of the purple and I'm smudging it a little bit into that black because I don't want it super duper deep. And that's a pretty pigmented black because it's made an impact even on top of all of this I already have on my lid. And I will be inserting swatches as well, so you can see all the swatches on my skin tone. I'm going to conceal under my eyes, finish off my face, and a bit like I normally do, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this palette and what it's leading me to believe potentially about Nomad Cosmetics. That's my look, guys. That's my look. And it's pretty, yeah, I mean, as looks go that I've rustled up, this is up there. I really, really like that. That palette is, I mean, let's whip it out again. I'm trying to think of the shades that I haven't yet used so I can remember to use them next time. So probably next time I will lean into the blues a bit more and kind of focus on this quadrant here. Maybe see if I can incorporate these 2 lighter shades here. So perhaps use these 2 in the crease and corner, blended out with one of these, and then this shimmer on the lid with another shimmer that I haven't used. Maybe this purple. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful colour story. As I say, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I need to insert the swatches. I'm going to do the swatches tomorrow because I don't think the light is going to do the swatches justice. And I'll put those up. I will put them at the end. It'll be interesting to see when I'm swatching these out how similar Queenstown Skyline and Tongariro Night Hike are. They're the 2 lightest shades. I wonder if there could have been a bit more of a variation in there, and maybe if that could have been like a deeper, cool toned brown in this palette. I think that might have rounded it off, and you could have got, it would have helped to do a more neutral look if you wanted to go down that route. Generally, if you're purchasing this palette, it's not because you're a lover of neutral. And as I mentioned, those 2 blues, I mean, while Carter Observatory does lean a bit more purple, again, I wonder how similar they're going to be swatched out. So I'll be looking out for that tomorrow. But the shimmers and the durochromes in here I mean, I think they speak for themselves. They are beautiful. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying out the other shades, but if this is the quality that Nomad has to offer, I'm definitely excited to play with Wild Atlantic Way, and I think I will definitely pick up those Halloween palettes when they come out a bit later on in the year. Yeah, love it. Anyway, so a bit of a slightly different video. I mean, kind of, but not. I mean, I've done one look rather than one look on each eye, and it's not, I have still given you my final thoughts, but it's not necessarily been a review as such. As I say, this palette's been out for a while, but I just wanted to kind of sit down, film, have a chit chat, try out this palette and let you know what I thought. I think the look that I've done speaks for itself. I'm pretty devastated that I've got nowhere to go, and I'm probably now just going to sit on my sofa and finally start watching The Boys, because I haven't started watching the latest season of that, mainly because I wanted to be able to binge it if I wanted to. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that you found this video useful, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye bye.